Hello everyone, it's Ben at TV Parts today. We are going to be removing the boards out of this Sony unit behind me on the table. It is an XBR-55X900E. We're just going to be removing the boards. It's going to be pretty simple, just showing you how to get these things out of this unit. So if you need any help, have any questions, give us a call at 1-800-203-7484 and let's get right into it. First thing we're going to want to be doing is getting the back off of this unit. There are quite a few screws all along the side here on both sides, and there is one hidden right underneath this plate right there. So we're going to need to get him out as well. So we're going to get the screws out, and then I'll show you how to actually remove the back plate from the chassis. Okay, so I believe I do have all the screws. We're going to double check here to make sure that everything is unscrewed from the back, and it does look like it. So the next step here, and if you do notice, we're not going to be able to just lift this directly up and off. And actually, missed a guy right here. There we go. So now, if you see there's a little bit of resistance up here along the top, it is actually clipped into the chassis. So we're going to have to slide the whole back up in this direction. Get a little bit better angle on this, and then it just slides right out. We can get into these boards. So we are going to be removing the main board first. First thing we want to do is remove this plastic piece. It just comes right off the side there. Now we're going to want to get all of these plugs removed from the main board before we unscrew it. So let's go ahead and start up here with these. There are two plastic tabs on the right and left side of these LVDS cables that we're going to want to depress with our fingers before we can actually pull this out. So you're going to give it just a little bit of pressure, and then it just come right out. Same thing with this one. Push down on the two tabs. And it should very easily, well, come right out there. Now this ribbon cable connection, we're going to want to get our fingernail up underneath it, pop the flap up, and it comes right out. This is going to have a clip on the back. We're going to use our thumbnail to push that down, and it should just come right away from that plug. Same thing with this one. This one's going to have two tabs on the right and left side that we're going to want to push down. The clips come out, and the whole plug should just come right out. This is a regular micro USB, so that just should come right out. And now we just have the screws. Do be mindful, this coax connection is not actually attached to the board. It is sliding into this port right here, and that will come away as we get all of these screws out. And that's that coax connection right there. If you want to, you can just pull that out and set it off to the side. And that should be our main board. It does appear to have a little bit of adhesive, so you do want to be gentle and just pry it very gently away. And this is that adhesive that was adhering the board to the chassis. Next up is the LED driver board. We're going to kind of follow the same scheduling here. We're going to get these clips out first. Just want to pop that up with your fingernail. This one's going to have a little clip with your thumbnail. You can just depress, and it should just come right out. These ribbon cable connections are the exact same as this. Just use your fingernail to pop those up. And these should just slide right out. So there are two LVDS cables that run over this housing. We can just disconnect those from the T-Con board. And these are going to have two buttons on the right and left side that you just want to squeeze down, and they should just come right out. So once we get those out, that's going to allow this whole housing piece to come up once we get it unscrewed, which we are going to do right now. So after we have those unscrewed, we should be able to just lift this up and away. You want to make sure you're not snagging anything or catching it. And you can set it off to the side. And there usually is a little bit of adhesive, but it does not appear to be any on this board, and that is the LED driver board. Next up is the T-Con board. There is quite a bit going on here. A lot of these cables that are taped down to this metal housing piece that we're going to need to get up. The Wi-Fi board is going to have to come off, as well as what I believe here is the IR sensor board, as well all of these clips here. We're going to get a lot of this tape up just so we can do a little bit of cable management. So let's go ahead and go at the clips first. And these are going to be the style where we just use our finger to depress this lever, and it should just pop right out of there. Same thing with this guy. Just going to use our finger to push down on that clip, and it should just come right out. We did cover these in the LED driver board, but just to reiterate, we want to push down on these buttons on the side and then just slowly walk these out. So now that we've got those away, there is a little plastic tab here that is going to be keeping all of these wires kind of in place. We're going to want to get that up just so we can get these wires away. And then we're going to kind of start getting into the speaker over here. We're going to pull this tape up and away from the chassis so that we can just unplug this clip here. This tape as well, we're going to be removing just so we can get these wires out of the way so we can actually pull this metal housing piece up and away. And then the cord for the Wi-Fi. And then we're going to go ahead and do something with these guys here. This tape as well. So this should give us a little bit more room. Once we actually get the IR sensor board up and away, this should give us a little bit more room to actually get this housing piece away. So let's go ahead and work on that first. There are 2 screws on the right and left side. That should allow this IR sensor board to just come up here, and then there's a clip right here that we're going to want to push down on with our thumbnail. That just comes right out. We can set this off to the side. We do want to keep track of all these pieces and all these screws. So next we're going to do the Wi-Fi board. Just 2 screws there, and that should come away. Now I do believe all that is remaining here are 4 screws that are actually keeping this metal housing piece down. And I think these 2 are also connecting it to the chassis. Let's go ahead and get these large silver screws away, and then we can use our fine tip screwdriver to work on these screws right here. And the reason we're going to be using this fine tip screwdriver is that a screw gun or a larger screwdriver runs the risk of stripping these screws out, and that's going to be a bad time for everyone. Once we get these out of this metal housing piece, we should be able to lift all of this up very gently, not to catch any of these, lift them up and away. Now I think we are at our last 3 screws here and 2 ribbon cable connections that go to the panel. What we want to do is get our fingernail up underneath these ribbon cable connections, using my finger to stabilize the board, and I can just pull those very gently away. Now these 3 screws, and we should be good to go. As always, we're going to be gentle just in case there's any adhesive, which there is not, and the T-Con board is free from the chassis. All right, last up is this little guy right here, the FRC board. We're just going to want to get this plastic piece pulled away, set that off to the side. There's 1 clip. Just want to get a good angle on this. Your thumbnail to push down on this lever, and then it just pops right out. 4 screws, and this will be away. And that is going to do it for this Sony unit. Okay, that's going to do it for this Sony model. If you have any questions, you can leave them down below in the comments section. Don't forget to give us a call if you have any questions as well. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you do subscribe to the YouTube channel, you'll qualify for 20% off your first order through TV Parts Today, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for watching another TV Parts Today repair video. If you have a question regarding your TV repair, post a comment and we will try to help. And don't forget,
You can help us and stay up to date by subscribing, liking, and sharing our content. Also, check us out on Facebook for exclusive promo codes.